Picture handing an AI agent your actual job for a week. Not a trivia question, but the real deliverable, a financial model, a board deck, a market strategy that a manager would genuinely sign off on. Can it do that? In June 2026, the team at Artificial Analysis built a benchmark to find out. They call it AA-Briefcase, and it scores frontier models on 91 realistic professional tasks drawn from data science, product management, banking operations, and heavy industry strategy. The results are humbling, and they tell us exactly where these agents still fall short. Let's break it down. Look, AA-Briefcase isn't one narrow test. It's a set of sprawling professional scenarios for private ones plus a public one, and each feeds the same overall score. Follow the 4 domains one at a time. Start with data science. Here the agent is handed messy, real-world data and asked to produce the kind of analysis a working data scientist would actually ship, cleaning, modeling, and drawing defensible conclusions. It isn't answering a quiz about statistics. It's doing the job end-to-end, from raw files all the way to a result a stakeholder could act on. Consider product management next. The model steps into a PM's shoes, sifting through emails, chat threads, and specs to shape a roadmap or a launch call. Artificial Analysis packed nearly 2,000 source files into these scenarios, including thousands of emails and tens of thousands of Slack messages. So the agent has to find the signal buried in real workplace noise. Now, move to banking operations. This scenario asks for the deliverables a finance team really produces. Think detailed financial models and the analysis behind an actual decision. The bar isn't a plausible-looking spreadsheet. It's whether the numbers hold up and the reasoning survives scrutiny. Because in banking, a subtle error doesn't just look bad, it can be genuinely costly. Finally, heavy industry strategy. Here the agent tackles long-horizon strategic work, the kind that unfolds over weeks and ends in a board-level presentation. All 4 of these domains pour into one place. A single picture of whether a model can carry professional knowledge work from start to finish, rather than just answer a clever question. So why build something this elaborate instead of another multiple-choice test? Here's the difference laid side by side. Consider a standard benchmark that asks isolated questions with clean, gradable answers. It tells you whether a model knows a fact or can solve a self-contained puzzle, but it stays silent about the messy part of real work, juggling context, chasing down files, and producing something a manager would actually accept. High scores there don't prove a model can do a job. Compare that with the briefcase approach, which grades the finished deliverable across 3 dimensions. There's a rubric pass rate, checking the work against binary criteria for instructions, evidence, and conclusions. Then 2 yellow scores from head-to-head comparisons. One for analytical rigor, one for how professional the presentation looks. Together, they capture not just whether the answer is right, but whether the work is something you trust. Strip it all back, and 3 findings make this benchmark worth your attention. This benchmark measures real deliverables, not trivia. Models simulate multi-week projects and hand back the artifacts a professional actually produces, financial models and board decks among them. That shift from answering questions to shipping work is why AA-Briefcase feels closer to a real job trial for an AI agent than almost anything that came before it. It exposes how far agents still have to go. Even the top performer, reportedly Claude Fable 5, passes every rubric criterion on only a sliver of tasks, around 3% by Artificial Analysis's own reporting. So while the headlines celebrate capability, this benchmark quietly reminds us these agents are nowhere near replacing a seasoned expert. It also tracks how long the work takes, not just whether it's right. Artificial analysis reports the stronger models spending roughly 10 to 30 minutes per task, a reminder that serious knowledge work costs real compute and real time. For teams weighing whether to deploy an agent, that cost side of the ledger matters just as much as the score. All right, let's lock in what matters. Released in June 2026 by Artificial Analysis, AA-Briefcase scores frontier models on 91 realistic professional tasks that demand finished, job-grade deliverables. Those tasks span 4 professional domains: data science, product management, banking operations, and heavy industry strategy, each built from nearly 2,000 real source files. Instead of grading isolated answers, it judges the work on a rubric pass rate plus 2 yellow scores, one for analytical rigor and one for presentation quality. Even the best agents clear every rubric on only a sliver of tasks, so there's real distance left to close. Want more AI breakthroughs explained in plain language? That's exactly what we do over at Standarity.com. Come join us.